very warm hello to each and every one of you out there. This is Tushar Paria and I am going to talk about kitchen color combinations today in this video. Now let's understand, when we talk about the combination, what are the elements in the kitchen. So there are basically three elements in the kitchen. One is the unit which is on the floor is called as a base unit. The unit which is above on the wall, which is called as a wall unit, and the stone and the tile in between, which is called as a stone top, and the dado. Now when it comes to the color combinations, we need to understand two type of thing. One is the material and second is the combination. Now let's understand what are the materials which we can use for the kitchen. First is the laminate, which is very commonly used. It comes into the glossy and matte finish. The second is acrylic. Again, it comes into the glossy and matte finish. Third is PU, glass, UV. These are the other materials, and even some people do use veneer also with the melamine or a PU coat on top of that. When we before going to understand the combination, we need to understand two more factors when it comes to the kitchen color combinations. The two factors are the light and the room size. Now you need to understand that the natural light, the amount of natural light which is coming into the room, the particular room which is a kitchen, and a second thing is the size of the room. When you have a very less light or a no natural light coming into the kitchen and the size of the kitchen is a pretty small, please make sure that you don't use a dark color out there. Using a dark color in such conditions, making your kitchen look more gloomy and smaller. When you have any of this factor which is positive, you have some light, natural light coming in, and the kitchen is considerably bigger, any of the factor is positive, you can still think of going for a darker color laminate. So this is first criteria which you need to think of when you go for a color combination as far as the kitchen is concerned. Now what happens when you use the colors for the kitchen, you need to think and take one more factor into the consideration, which is the dado and the granite color. Now whatever the granite or a stone color you have and the dado color you have, that is also adding a color into your entire combination. So you cannot just go ahead and use some color wherein this is not complementing that color. So individually some color will look good, but in combination with the dado and stone it may not look good. So need to take that factor into consideration. Using a dark color on the base unit looks good because it gives a sense of heaviness at the bottom, and when you use a lighter color on the top, it gives a sense of lightness on the top. So this is one more factor which you need to use. But while using the dark color, make sure that you don't use a matte dark color when it comes to the base unit. What happens when you use a matte color and your greasy hands are touched on the matte color, it leaves the stain behind and it is little difficult to clean. Right, so make sure that you use a glossy color when it comes to the base unit, and top unit, even if you use a matte color, the less greasy hands are being touched on the wall unit, so it is still okay. Another factor which you need to take in consideration when going for a kitchen laminate is don't take textured laminate when you select for the base unit. What happens, the textured laminate is a basically kind of rough laminates. So when, let's say, suppose if you take up a stone textured laminate, so it's a rough. So when you put a rough textured laminate on the wall unit or on the base unit, it is more likely to catch this greasiness and it is very difficult to maintain. So don't use the texture laminate. Second things, there are some texture laminate which is like a lines. So those lines also you need to avoid, because then again it is difficult to clean. For wall unit, the texture laminate and the line laminate or any other leather laminate is still okay. But you need to be pretty cautious when you use for the base unit. Another thing is, when you use a base unit, make sure that you don't use a glass there, because the base unit which is at the lower level, it is pretty tend to get hit by something hard and it can break. So most probably the glass is something which breaks often into the kitchen when it is used as the base, and if your kitchen is smaller and there is a tight space to turn around, don't use glass. You can use it for the wall unit. It is absolutely fair and enough as far as the color combination material selection is concerned. So these are some of the tips. If you use these tips and understand, I'm sure that you can come up with a fantastic color combination, the material combination as far as the kitchen is concerned. This is Tushar Paria. I am signing off. Please do share, like and comment on this video. Stay tuned. I'll be coming up with some other valuable information like this very soon. Thank you so much.